So we may be crashing up against the debt ceiling a lot sooner than anyone thought. If you don't know what that means and you don't care to know what that means, just know it would be very bad. But here's the thing, when that crash happens is entirely dependent on you. So I'm going to explain all about that in a second, but first I want to thank my paid Facts HQ subscribers for voting for this story as the bonus this week. It is because of their support that I am able to continue to do this work and make these videos for you. So if you want to join them and support my work, please consider becoming a paid subscriber. There are a bunch of other perks like exclusive content, access to a group chat with me, and subscriber-only live events. Plus, of course, you get to vote on next week's bonus story. And if you don't want to be a paid subscriber, you can also support my work by just becoming a free subscriber, and then you will get my daily Facts HQ newsletter, which is an excellent resource. So make sure you sign yourself up. Okay, let's get into this debt ceiling stuff. Quick refresher. The debt ceiling is the legal limit on the amount of money the federal government can borrow to pay its existing bills. Not its new bills. I'm talking about the bills Congress already racked up. One party is not responsible for the $36 trillion of debt the U.S. government already has on the books. We got to that number as a result of both parties over decades. And when we hit the debt ceiling, the Treasury Department cannot borrow any more money, but the bills keep coming in. You know how it works at your house. Just because you don't pay a bill doesn't mean it disappears. It doesn't just go away. Ultimately, if you don't pay that bill, you will default on that debt, and that's when the real problems start for you. Same for the federal government. It's very important to understand raising or suspending the debt ceiling does not just authorize new spending. Raising or suspending the debt ceiling just allows the Treasury Department to borrow what it needs to pay the bills that Congress already approved. Now, technically, we already hit the debt ceiling back in January 2025, but the Treasury Department has been taking what are known as extraordinary measures, basically creative accounting, robbing Peter to pay Paul, to avoid a catastrophic debt default. But those extraordinary measures can only go on for so long, and now the Congressional Budget Office just released its report for how long those extraordinary measures can last and when the debt default is actually going to happen. The soonest it could happen, according to the CBO, is late May, early June. And the latest would be August or September. Now, I know you're probably thinking, what the hell, man? Why can't they be more specific? Because of you. Yes, you. That crash up against the debt ceiling exact date cannot be determined until the Congressional Budget Office sees how much money in revenue the IRS collects in your tax money. Once that number is determined, they can do all the complicated math to figure out when the debt default will happen. So if the IRS does not collect enough tax money from all of us, that default will come sooner in May. And if the IRS collects more tax money, then the default would come later in August or September. Make sense? P.S. I will email that debt ceiling report from the CBO out in my next Facts HQ email. So again, I told you it's a good resource. Make sure you sign yourself up. Now, I'm not going to go into the catastrophic consequences of the United States defaulting on our debt and what it would mean for you and me in this video. I have a bunch of other videos that runs down the scenario. But the bottom line is, when combined with this current economic situation we find ourselves in with the tariffs, which the Federal Reserve has already said will cause more inflation, shrink the GDP, and possibly invite a recession, adding a debt default to that would be a dumpster fire within a dumpster fire within a crap sandwich that a dog peed on. Too graphic? So what can anyone do to stop the United States from defaulting on this debt or even hitting the debt ceiling? Well, Congress has three options. They can increase the debt ceiling, they can suspend the debt ceiling, or they can get rid of the debt ceiling altogether. The option the Republican-controlled House and Senate has now agreed on, at the direction of President Trump, is to increase the debt ceiling somewhere between $4 and $5 trillion. We will not know for sure what that number is until the Republican-controlled House and Senate can pass a joint budget resolution. That process is ongoing right now. I will keep you posted on that. But they have to hurry because according to that Congressional Budget Office report that I'm talking about, the potential debt default window opens up in just a few weeks at the end of May. So we will get an official, what's called X date. That's the real default date from the Treasury Department after all the taxes have been returned on April 15th.